Hi all, welcome to another Chess 24 Banter Blitz. It's approaching 11:30 AM in the UK. Okay, before we get on to the game challenges, I'd like to emphasize to you the voucher code Kingscrusher, Kings plural Crusher. If you go to chess24.com/premium, you can get 15% off with that voucher code. And so that's well worth checking out, that 15% off, and you can get to play the likes of the world chess champion Magnus Carlsen, other fantastic grandmasters, international masters, celebrities, and even bunnies like me. So it's well worth it, and there's other perks of the premium membership. So check that out. Let's go to the game challenge list today. So Alekhine in a 3-minute game is our first game challenge today. I hope audio and visual is okay. My opponent played e4. I played 96, didn't I? And he's walks off somewhere. I don't know. He's giving me a time odds. Okay, he's giving me time odds. Has he got slow connection? I don't know. But it's only a 3-minute game. Time is crucial. So this is a tango. So 20 seconds in a 3-minute game is pretty significant. So my favourite tango. I really like this sort of position. Generally. Okay, that's a bit new. That's a bit of a nuisance. I'll go back on that. Maybe rook h5, kick this queen out. Okay, on knight f4 here. I'll just blunder the rook. Oh, I don't usually blunder the whole rook. That's just great. Let's play for this. I usually move that rook after as a safety precaution, so I haven't done that today. That's very clever. So yeah, this is a bit sacrificial, but I think he might blunder just then because he's interrupted that connection. Yes, I've been let off totally. It's a 3-minute game, but I've been totally let off. Yeah, a very blunderful game. I routinely, even in bullet chess, I routinely move the rook from a7 to a8. This is another routine sack, but it's it's only a 3-minute game. Okay, that was blunderful. A blunderful start to today. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, okay. It's not good to have unprotected pieces. I think that's the lesson from that one. Try and avoid having unprotected pieces. Because as John Nunn says, they tend to fall off. So this is a fun sort of system sometimes. So pressure on e5. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to taking on e5 again for queen h5, potentially. And so if I take here, then take on e5, then take on e5, then queen h5, then queen e5. The diagonal's kind of weakened as well on queen h5 because, you know, g6 weakens that diagonal. So there's a little trick in this line with this queen h5 little trick. The trick also exists in some variations of the Dutch defence, this queen h5 business. hitting d5 sometimes. It's a useful trick to know about. So I'm looking at queen takes g7 here. Okay, I think I will just take on e7. Maybe knight e2 to d4 to f5. Mind you, on knight e2 there's like knight e4. Is that a concern, or do I just take on g7 or d3? I don't know. Maybe just d3 first. Probably d3 first. Okay, so here knight f5 looks good. Coming up. Okay, I think d3 or maybe b4 here, just to perch that knight comfortably. Oh, I missed bishop a3. Yeah, bishop a3 was winning in exchange. I can play for that anyway with b5. I was just looking at the knight from it, but b5, bishop a3. Okay, I'll leave the perched knight. I think this was my point anyway, to have a perched knight. And let's just restrict this guy for a moment. I think I just want to like have a nice coordinated position. So even if I simplified with g4, g5, I think that endgame would be probably interesting. Is he going to lock out this bishop actually with c5? That would leave a weak c5 pawn though. I think c5, maybe I take. Oh, okay, here I can probably threaten knight takes h6 and then rook takes. It's opposite colored bishops, but because it's like two extra pawns, it still might be quite critical for black because of the two extra pawns on knight takes h6. Oh, okay, I can't take with that. Alright, it's a pawn towards the center anyway. Sometimes that's good if these pawns get mobilized later. Also this g-file, I can imagine king h2. Okay, king h2 for rook g1. If rook b8, okay, here's another pawn. Alright, I think I'll take this one. Yeah. The rook and pawn endings. Well, I think I just build on the g-file for a moment. Although there's always the pesky knight h5. Even if I double... Oh, there's bishop g7. That's alright. Or rook g7. Maybe this is plausible. Knight h5, maybe I just take on g7 with a rook or something. Here there's this. Getting another pawn. I can get the rooks off here with rook g6, because if rook takes, then there's rook h6. If rook e2, king h1, still be faced with that issue. So it takes rook h6, if check, king h1. Alright, so here, okay, I'm double attacking two pawns. But I don't need to do that, I can just bring the rook back. I can give, okay, I think the easiest is just actually to just get the rook behind this and then start these pawns up. So I think start these pawns, pushing these pawns, push those pawns. Alright, thanks the ball. Yeah, it's a trick worth knowing about, that little trick in that opening. So Iron Man. So I wonder if E takes is going to be played. That's interesting. I'm being trusted about this diagonal. I'm say, maybe not. I'm being questioned now about this whole double pawn sack entertainment. Yeah, yeah. I kind of like this gambit. I would call it the Kingscrusher gambit sometimes, maybe, because I had quite a lot of wins with it. Okay, so the king's still in the center. There's also knight b5 here. I'll start with this because, c7. I can see some good stuff potentially. Oh. Aha. Maybe it's not so clever. Okay, I'm going to go here for queen f2. I'm looking at bishop c1 sometimes. Queen f2 is going to be dangerous, right? With the king on the queen side. If a6, knight a7. If a6, a4 is also interesting. I think it's dangerous to play queen f2 here. Alright, if taking maybe g takes, and I hold the g4 square against knight g4 for a moment. I think giving up that knight square bishop must have some little downside. So I'm holding g4 against knight g4. I've got the threat of knight a7. There's also bishop f5 to factor in. So in fact, any knight g4, there's bishop f5. So how does black parry? Is it as simple as... Oh, don't tell me it's as simple as king b8. This is getting embarrassing. King b8, maybe bishop d4. Am I just getting loads of weaknesses for nothing? Alright, I'm going to go with a plan of a form pawn, a5, a6, to weaken c6. If I can weaken c6, I've got a light square bishop without a counterpart. If I can weaken these light squares, I think there's some compensation there. On the weakened light square, it will exacerbate the issue. I'll bishop e4 here anyway. So I'm threatening to take on c6 there if knight f4. And then that taking on a7. So yeah, that's a kind of weakness of the last move, isn't it? Because it's sort of neglected e4. So we're back now with a bit of pressure. So I'm wondering, like, a5. Now if d5, that diagonal gets weakened as well. Okay, I might want to take on c6 here or not. No, I think I'll keep that bishop for a moment. I want to again play for a6 to weaken c6. Just want to weaken c, and that nice form pawn on a6. Alright, f5 is there for the taking though. I think taking that is good for bishop e4 again. Someone's getting a pawn back. If I get bishop e4 back on the cards, alright, so a6 here, I'm starting to weaken that c6. Bishop c1 to e3, maybe there's bishop b6 later. This bishop's not actually doing too much on the diagonal. I think at the very least getting a pin on this diagonal would be fun. Okay, any other tactical consideration? Maybe rook g1 for g4 actually. Because anytime I do this, there's queen e5 and that hits b5. What about going for a rook g4 instead here? Oh, there's also h7 hanging there. Rook g4 for a moment. Okay. Queen g2 for f4 later. It's getting aligned on this a8 b7 stuff. Alright, so f4 here is hitting c6, and also f takes might be handy. d5 is weakening that diagonal as well, but on d5 I think f takes to get another pawn back. And I can get another pawn back and win the exchange almost with bishop h7 actually coming up. Maybe I'll just try and win an exchange there. Alright, so bishop f3 looks fun here. I'm controlling e5 at the moment against knight e5. I think blasting down this diagonal with c4 looks logical to try and, given I've got that battery, c4, try and put the torture rack on that diagonal. Also there's another bit of torture, this pin here, rook e1. I think c4 is enough torture for the moment. Oh, there's bishop f6 as well. So there's two ways of pinning. I think it's difficult to respond to this because this is without the counterpart. I've just accentuated the light square weaknesses with the form pawn. The c6 is a pretty loose knight anyway as well. Okay, so I'm just take it on g7 or bishop f6. I'll get another, or not. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Maybe bishop f6 takes. I'll take on d5 after. That's rook d5 for queen b5 or something. Well, I don't know. I think that's more interesting than taking on g7 though. This is potentially a loose knight in the variations. There's knight e5 as well, actually. Okay, there's knight e5. I'll play bishop d5 here. There's rook d5 for queen e4. There's queen g2. Just at the moment, there's queen g2. But it is getting a bit dangerous. So I'll try and stand this diagonal. Okay, there is. Unfortunately, there's c6. Maybe it's pinned to b7. I just move the bishop somewhere if I can, which I can't. Okay, maybe this threatens mate anyway. Queen b7. Okay, queen b7. All right, yeah, interesting game. Yeah, thanks, Unmenf. Chess Beast, Austria. Okay. So this is a kind of reverse something. Reverse Grand Prix attack if c4 is played. In the Sicilian, if c4 is played. a6 and bishop. Oh, don't I just take knight g4, knight e3 checkmates the queen, doesn't it? It looks to be checkmating the queen. I think I've seen this as a trap somewhere. Yeah, it's a bit of a pitfall. You've got to be very aware of these forcing moves. I'll say 51% confidence. Whatever you do, if you factor in your opponent's resources, including forcing moves, not to miss this kind of stuff. I think that's checkmate to the queen. Is there bishop g5? Maybe queen d7. Well, I could take here, so that's wild. Then take there. Or I just play queen d7. I think just queen d7. I don't want to end up material down with some weird stuff. Alright, I can get my knight out, can't I? I can go to a4. Okay, the knight's in danger. b5 for knight a4. Well, actually, I'm going to first play for g5, g4. Just to get rid of this pin. So g5 will be threatening g4. Okay, I have lost that knight. He just moves this back. That knight's trapped. That was interesting. Okay, if he moves the bishop, knight b4, bishop takes, knight c2 at least. Oh, okay, he's giving me that. Okay, it's interesting. It's interesting. Thanks. Smiley face. Okay, so a smiley face. Okay, it's only a 3-minute game. Every second counts here. So there's tango. No one's risking the Colorado gambit, I see, after knight c6 to play knight f3 or something. However that goes. I've never actually tried ever like the Colorado gambit, but I did a video on it, so I'm keen to try it in a practical sense. The dreaded Colorado gambit is, e4, knight c6, knight f3, f5. I've been keen, if I get the chance to play the Colorado gambit, I will play the Colorado gambit if you want. Just bear that in mind. So e4, knight c6, knight f3. I'll play f5 for a laugh. If anyone wants to test me on that. I've never actually played it ever in a real game. Okay. Right, so knight f2 here is interesting, isn't it? Because that's a focal, like, killer common square, isn't it? Queen takes f2. And here, it's interesting for taking. If, yeah, there's probably like a mating thing on knight f5, queen f3 checkmate. Knight g2 looks a bit miserable, but yeah, it's plausible. I might just play h4 here for h3. It's still a dangerous idea of queen f3 with a combination of the bishop and the queen there. It's pretty lethal, isn't it? Oh, there is knight e1, but on knight e1, it's a disconnection, isn't it? So there's queen f1, knight g1, queen g1. This looks pretty lethal, this position. Queen f1. And then knight g1, queen g1. Alright, thanks for the game. A smiley face. Dirks. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Dirks. Okay. 1, 2. I'll give it 5 seconds. 3, because it's quite a busy queue today. 4. I think it's a busy queue today. 5. Okay, another time. Another time. Okay. Sammy Silla, 3-minute game. You guys are into your 3-minute games, huh? Nowadays. Okay, so this is capturing away from the center. I did a video recently highlighting about capturing away from the center. I think there's some dynamic compensation here, but I'd really like the clamp, D4 clamp. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want White to play D4, but he can undermine actually with B4. It's not that clever. I'm going to try and, as though this stuff is being suppressed, this B4, because it is asking to be undermined with B4. The whole point about capturing away from the center quite often in these Sicilian lines is that D4 control. It's a key central square to control. So when you capture away from the center, there's like a line in the anti-Sveshnikov or Rosalimo where, I always wondered why, D takes is the favoured move. And it's logical, the dynamic pressure and compensation of the clamp here, but it didn't need to be like this clamp on D4. The knight's actually kind of useful here on F7 because it prevents bishop H6. So I like the binds of the position here. And probably I can play now for F5 without worrying about the central... Muppets. Counterplay. Okay. Accidents do happen. Yeah. Okay. I favoured the other rook, but I think I've got a good attack anyway. So H5 with G4, it looks a bit squishy. I might want my queen on E7 just to stop knight H4. Oh, this is a classic pawn sack I've seen before. I can play B5. It's only a double pawn. I've seen Kramnik play this kind of pawn sack. So I just want to play H5, G4 and look forward to some squishiness. H5, G4 with squishiness. Still with a bind on the D4 square. This is the sort of position I just love squishing, actually. Okay, very squishy. Okay, so we have this situation of a certain level of squishiness. Maybe a bishop to G3. Bishop H4 to G3. Keeping that tension for a moment. I think something like King G7 makes way for a... Or King H7 might be more appropriate to get away from the diagonal. Then Rook H8, and then King G6, and then build up on the H file or something. Ah, okay. I don't know. Am I imagining this is dangerous? I don't know. Maybe I'm being reckless. I don't know. King G7, King G6. No, actually, I'm concretely threatening G takes now. Yeah, this looks like a concrete thing. G takes. All right, what's the threat? There's no immediate, is there? And just take on H3. Okay. Well, this looks as though G2 is very dangerous because of the discovered check of King F2, G1, discovered check. Yeah, I think the point of capturing away from the centre is to create a central bind. If you've got central bind, you can do your counterplay. You know, you can worry less about the counterplay on the central or the queen side if you've got a bind on d4. Thanks to the game. So Teja. So it's nice to have a sort of uninterrupted squish attack on the king side. So I think that's like the art of war. You know, put yourself beyond the feet before going on the attack, or Nimzovich. You know, prophylaxis in the wider sense. So you want to put yourself beyond the feet. If you can get that sort of bind. In fact, my friend John Naylor emphasised that if you get some sort of binds in your games, then you can do the attacks without sort of worrying less, because the bind gives you some sort of security of your position. So when you attack, there isn't this massive counter attack so quickly anyway. So bishop e7, and if I castle. So here, I you know, this is crude, but you know, I think this is like an ear sticking out. You know, I think it's there to be, you know, chopped off. Okay, so okay, is protected there, but is there going to be a compromise on the dark squares here? Ah, okay. So my d6 is a little bit vulnerable. I'm maybe concretely threatening b5, b4 for knight e4 here. Is that really the case? Am I threatening b5, b4 for knight e4? Or is that always bishop h6 after? Alright, I'm playing a slower game now with bishop f8. So I'm hitting e4. Put this queen back on the dark squares. Could build up on e4 with maybe rook e7, but there's knight f5. If that would improve my pawn structure actually and give me an outpost square on f4. It also liberates the bishop to c5 potentially. Maybe just this looks like nice positionally in some sense. Alright, any g6, there's queen f6 right now. b5, b4. Would it be useful to drive that bishop back? So b4, any use of that? And knight f5 almost like it does threaten. Okay, I can set a pawn there. I will take that pawn. Although rook a1, yeah, I don't really want to play b4. Although I could get back to the centre with bishop b2 to d4. Maybe that's an okay move actually here. For bishop b, as long as I can bounce back to a central square, it's not entirely greedy. Although bishop h6 is on the cards now. Just allow bishop h6. I can try and pin that, otherwise bishop h6. Alright, again, knight f5. Maybe I just chop off on f5. Because knight f5 threatens knight takes h6. Any mileage in this knight g4? At the moment, the mechanism doesn't do anything. If there was a queen on h4, it still wouldn't do anything. But it's worth checking out, in theory, the knight g4 stuff. At one point, knight g4 might actually do something. So knight g4 here looks as though it might be doing something a little bit more. Not yet, because, you know, just king g1. Alright, in fact, okay, so here, maybe queen c5. Actually, just hold on to a5 for a moment. So what is the point here now? I'll maybe get a rook to f6 to get this queen away and hit f2. So something like rook d6. Okay, I'm taking there for sure. If takes e4. Alright, rook d4 for an eventual knight e4 if I double the rooks. So rook d4, double rooks and knight e4. And this bishop e4 is mating. If I took on d1, check, king f8, check, king e7. It might not be mating. So the rook's doubling, then knight e4, bishop e4, rook d1, Queen h7, King f8, Queen h8, King e7, Queen g7. Well, then I've got things like Queen f2 maybe. So I'm going to double here with the threat of knight takes e4. Potentially the queen's holding d1 now. Okay, the queen's holding d1 now. Aha. It's adding to a bit of piece coordination, this. You know, it did have a tactic behind it. Anytime I play this, I drop that pawn though. I like f4 here. I'm going to go for the f4 square. So king g7, knight h5 to f4. If he has to play g3, it's a further compromise. I'm protecting h6 there. g3 is a compromise of the light squares. Okay, so I'll play this for knight f4. Does he play g3? Right. Okay. Okay, job done there. Let's go back. So queen d6, rook a5, knight e4. Has an idea maybe of knight d2, knight takes b3, rook takes d3. Maybe that's worth doing. Okay, because I'm not making progress here if I have to hold on to a5. Okay. I see. Okay. Okay. An exchange sack with rook d3 if I want to make progress by force or have lost position. Either. Just hold on with queen c5 for a moment. Just test this water. All right, fascinating. No, I don't know. h5, h4 maybe. If I let a5 go, but I have a dark square attack. h4. Oh, just hold this for a moment. Any b4, there's rook b4, queen b4. But if I play for h4, tickling these dark squares. So if he plays g4 now, alright, these dark squares are being probed a bit. Maybe knight h7, then f6. Although my light squares, there's f5 here. That rook on d4. Alright, there's f takes for rook d2 here. It's crumbled. Rook d2. I think I can just take on d3. Hitting the queen. Oh, don't tell me I've been disconnected. Okay, I'll just take the queen here. All right, thanks. Yeah, that was tough position, I thought, for a moment there. A Spectra 3-minute game. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna ball, I think, because there's a big queue today. Okay, so I've cut down from 10 to 5 today because the queue is quite big. So let's have a few games more than usual. Especially, I mean, they seem to be 3-minute games today. So Okay. So if I take, and then here for d5 looks interesting. Oh, maybe not now. Alright, so king h7, d6, and then f5. I think would be my favoured plan here, given that d5 is out of the question. Alright, not f5. I'm going to be walking into knight g5. Okay. Okay, not here though. There's no knight g5 here, so this is again possible. If I take and then knight e4, there's d5. So yeah, so I'm thinking, you know, f takes and then d5. f4 here is also I think f4 actually to get that centre pawn. So if we put the bishop back, I think it's some sort of success there. If he has to put the bishop back. Alright. If bishop takes, maybe knight takes f3, then bishop takes. Because if takes, there's queen takes d4. Alright, so here knight c6 to e5. This is looks like a very pleasant dark square grip. It looks as though this is very dangerous, isn't it? Because there's forcing moves in existence like knight b3. I can just say that. Alright, I think I just seal up there. Because there's no light square bishop here to terrorize me. I'll take that one. Okay, there is a light square queen there. Get away from the light square there. Rook b8, queen a5 looks good. That king sitting on the queen side looks a bit dodgy. So rook b8, queen a5. Okay, so queen a5 here. This is all very dodgy, this diagonal with the check. Okay, knight g6 though is a concern, I suppose. Maybe just, you know, rook f2. If knight g6, king h7, I don't see necessarily what white does there. Looking at a queen sack, but I can't get it working. Because the rook's like blocked out, that's helpful tactically. The rook's closed off. Oh, thanks to the game, Anoop. Yeah, that was interesting. So, Blunder Panda. Okay. Alright, this is interesting. Trying to ruin my fun of this opening. Making it more, the centre more open. Less room for pawn advances. So bishop e6. Any knight f6, e5. Let's get out of this. e5 business for queen taking on a8. Queen taking on c6, queen d7. Alright, it's not an issue now, but... Alright, so... Okay. Aha. Alright, there's bishop f5 here on f5. That's prophylaxis against f5. Right. Well, there's taking and there's knight e4 here. It's a centre pawn for a flank pawn. The other consideration is that this diagonal is open for the bishop. e3 is weak. So I might be getting a tempo anyway. I'm not sure he has time. Okay, taking on c3, taking on c3. If bishop d2, there's at least bishop d4 here. If bishop d4. Okay, so a5 is probably going to go. Do I need to play queen d7? Or something else? Queen d7. Okay, so a5 is going to go. Pass pawn implication is not too dangerous at the moment. Maybe f5 to try and lock down against white playing f5. In fact, okay, this goes back, I suppose it does. Maybe d5 and just go for rook e4 and oh, the queen's hanging there. Yeah, I suppose he was pre-moving against king takes. You can't pre-move. Only in bullet chess. It's very, very dangerous to pre-move. Yeah. And my plan though was to play rook e4 and then try and double the rooks. Because that kind of... I remember playing Adams, he did that against me in the Banco Gambit. That sort of plan, he took over the e-file. It impressed me ever since. I'll try and recreate that plan of taking over the e-file. Okay. So here, you know, d6, a6. Adams played this amazing Banco Gambit against me once. So he had this positional stuff with knight e8 to c7 to b5 to d4. He played ed. Then he got his domination of the e-file layer. It was amazing. It's my most enjoyable loss ever in my life, this game against Michael Adams. It was in Lloyd's Bet Masters, a one-day game, before he was into the 2700s. He was about 2600 or something. But I just found it was like an awesome, like, positional, you know, display. So bishop a7, okay. I mean, I didn't know you could actually enjoy losing, but I think I found out that day you could actually enjoy losing some games, yeah. So against positional players, maybe I appreciate that a little bit. So rook e8, bishop d7, queen c8. So king h2 is prompted. So here, maybe I'll go back for this f5, f4 plan now. So rook f8, f5. By the way, I saw a mega amazing video during the week. Yeah. I don't know if any of you will be able to find it based on my description. It's something like you'd have to do keywords on the Turk Autonomer and CAMS and it's like a 50-minute video explaining how they used cams to do these autonoma in the 19th century, and this led up to the most spectacular demonstration was the chess playing Turk. I don't know if anyone can find that video. Actually, no, I did my own Kingscrusher bookmark because I wanted to share it with a lot of people. So basically, it's Kingscrusher TV / Turk. I think that works. If you want to check it out, tell me if it works. Kingscrusher.tv / Turk. It was important to me to find out, because it's starting to annoy me how they did the Turk. So that was a chess playing autonoma. As I wondered, because they showed the inside of the cabinet before the display, and it looked as though there was no space. I thought there can't have been that many midget masters of that strength, to fit in that cabinet, right? So yeah, it's fascinating, but also even just from the mechanical aspects of these cams, like cams as in camshaft, all of these intricate cams made me think, and I preempted this actually before getting to the end of the video, that they're wasting like people's lives doing these intricate cams, right? Isn't this going to lead to some sort of revolution? Because why would you want to spend your life doing all these stupid intricate cams, modelling the aristocracy? Something seems a bit wrong about that. And it explained it actually might have been a prelude to the French Revolution. So it combines, history, culture, technology, the computer program, and also an explanation of how, like, the Turk, works. So it's well worth, checking out. Yeah. Does that link work? Kingscrusher TV / Turk. Does it work? Does anyone want to try it out? It might be the Turk or Turk. So bishop takes is virtually, it's the only move. Otherwise, my bishop's awkward. I have to protect it. I don't want to protect it. So knight f3 faults the king and queen. But it's like the most fascinating program I've seen this week, essentially. In fact, probably for a long time. Yeah. So check that out. So here, rook g6 seems really tempting. Or knight e4 for f3. Maybe that's just more logical, knight e4 for f3, given I've got that battery. I'll go for this f3. f3 looks good. Or rook g6 here. Okay, there's a danger of knight e6 to f8. If I'm going to allow all of those moves, then that could be really quite dangerous. But do I need to allow that stuff? What about just queen takes d5? Just uprooting that outpost square e6. There's also queen d8 as a danger. Queen d8, there's queen h5 there. So queen d5 ticks the boxes for the moment. I think it's probably too slow. Okay, so queen d5 ticks the boxes, I think. Queen d8, queen h5. Alright. Otherwise, there's like queen f2. If queen d8 here, queen f2 is like... Okay, so queen... Is there no check here? That's fascinating. Oh, there's queen g1, queen h1. Queen g1 is a killer common square. Because, yeah, thanks. Because this other program about the Turk didn't explain, it left it as a mystery. They recreated it as a modern Turk, and he still didn't explain how it worked. So it was starting to bug me, this whole thing. Yeah, at multiple levels, actually, because it wasn't just that the Turk was good at chess. The actual things like the eye movements and all that were spectacular. So it's a combination of spectacular cam technology with illusion. So at the time, you could imagine it's, I don't know. what you'd think at the time of that. But then they dismantled it, I think, before so its secrets were revealed. So I think it is one of the most interesting kind of things. But they have this automa which had replaceable cams for this little kid's automa to write with a fountain pen a different message. So essentially that became, you could see that becomes like a computer program just using cams. And apparently that was the inspiration for these weaving machines, which was later the inspiration for, punch cards. So this is all in, within chess history clashing with computer chess history. I found it just absolutely fascinating. So anyway, so check that out. So e4 here coming up. Okay, so e4 wins some material. Bishop d6 is okay, winning some compensation material, but not enough, I think. This is a classic trap against the London system to play this sneaky queen e8, adding oomph to e5 and e4 later. That holds d6 at the moment. Knight takes e4. So, okay. Queen takes e4. Okay, so queen e6. So rook e8, knight e5. But also, what fascinates me as well, I don't know, this is another aspect not really discussed about the games of that Turk automation. It did seem as though the masters were actually fairly, tactical monsters as well. If you look at the sharpness of the chess, they really went for the king, quite a lot. So, I found that quite interesting as well. The actual the games of the Turk, if you check them out, they're quite tactical. And I'm going to take here, I'll take on e1. So bishop g7. I think they must have used some pretty strong masters at the time as well. They used some strong masters at the time. Okay. Prom night. Thanks. Prom night. Let's play an English opening. e5. Right, so can I play d5 here? I want e4, knight d4. Or am I running into e4? Let's just put this back for a moment. So if I castle, then rook e1, isn't that queen almost in trouble with bishop g5? But there's also bishop a4 still in the picture here, which could be annoying. That's interesting. Bishop a4, bishop g5, or bishop g5 first. Bishop g5 here. If the queen moves away, there's bishop f5. Ah, but he does that. Did I do the wrong move order? Okay. Is there an annoying check with queen a4? If I play this check, does he play queen d7? I guess that's mostly harmless. Queen d7, right. Right, just checking. Alright, I think he's out of the woods, unfortunately for me. play c5 here, or e4. c5 straight off the bat, or e4. e4, I'm going to play c5. But he's going to use that as a blockade square, isn't he? I expect. Can I have knight e1 to d3? Just against that blockade square, or has he got knight f4 coming up? This c5 pawn sacrifice seems attractive here. Alright, this is a little bit dangerous. Oh, this, I don't know if this is stupid to just play h3. Queen f2. I think I want to play c5 and play on the b file if I get the chance. Alright, we'll sack the exchange. C takes and then b7. Or c6. Is c6 actually a better proposition? Oh, knight e5 would have been interesting. I think knight e5 for knight d7 after. There's a bit of nebulous compensation going on. I think maybe he's winning with the rooks. And this d6 is something to be feared. I'll protect that for a moment. Mind you, then there's rook f4. Alright, can I just do this then? So maybe rook e1, king d4. So king d4, knight d7. I think I'd be happy with king d4 and knight d7 with the idea of rook e7 and maybe d6 and then c7. And that would be queening that pawn. That pawn's only 2 squares away. But, okay, I don't want to lose d5 in a hurry. Maybe knight d7 now, there's rook e8. Okay, how do I do this? I don't want to lose my rook. Alright, now here. So I want to play knight d7, rook e7. Right, d6 for c7. What about king to b7 as a plan? Or c5 for d6. Okay. Yeah. Oh, does me over. Too much excitement. Oh no. Okay. Oh, ouch. Brain ouch. Okay. There was something about the dangerous. I thought there was something in the pawns there being dangerous. I'd rather give up the exchange there as I did. Well, it seemed like an interesting bet to give up the exchange. But the technicalities of that, to avoid losing a rook. Okay. There's something else. Okay, so a6, e5, or e5 immediately here. This is Clint Eastwood, right? No, it's the other one. It's the bad, good, bad, and ugly. That's a classic film. Okay, so king h8, knight h5, knight f4. If you guys haven't seen the Good, Bad, Ugly series, it's a must. I think I might revisit it actually. It's just so dramatic, just in the middle of nowhere and stuff. Knight h5, knight f4. Knight h5, knight f4. So I'm threatening knight takes h3 here. Or rook takes f3 for knight d4. If bishop d7, queen d7, this looks too dangerous. This rook f3 looks far too dangerous to allow. So knight d5 might be tempting, but rook f3. Knight d4 threatens knight f3. I think this is too dangerous. Or is he just, I don't know if he's just counter-sacking a rook d4 there, actually. There might be resource here. So it takes knight d4, queen e3. Oh. Oh. I see. Wow. All right, queen f7. Maybe rook f6 here for a moment. If I gone into unsound territory here, h5, king h7, bishop h6, these dart squares, there's no counterpart to the bishop. I think that's a key consideration, the dart squares, because there's no counterpart. But this knight d5 looks dangerous. Oh, this is very unpleasant. King h7, bishop h6. I've got the Boleslavsky hole as well as being exchanged down. Well, he's given me the e5 square. I think I'll kind of take that e5 square. Maybe queen g8. I'm threatening bishop h6, am I? Alright, let's nudge this bishop. I want knight e5 really. If I have knight e5, I feel a bit happier, I think. Okay, so g5 for g4 looks entertaining potentially. Okay, so rook g6 here. Well, there's knight f6 winning my queen. Queen d8? Maybe queen d8 in the circumstance. Try and tread around this knight on d5. If I can play like rook h6 and then g4. Right here I just take that. That helps my cause, I think. Doesn't it? Well, maybe rook d6 was interesting. I think this helps the cause. Definitely. I think it's over. Yeah, this bishop up, it looks over. But I think white was definitely better. I misjudged that, all that. White was definitely better. The exchange up, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Friedel fried me last week on the clock end position. Let's see. This week. Is it the classic London system torture? Unfortunately, I've just gone into classic torture situation. I'll play this provocative sort of plan I've seen before. Essentially, rook c7, queen a8. With the idea of knight d5, maybe e5 later. Rook e8, knight d5, e5. Knight d5, e5. So I've had this played against me. I was with the white pieces and over the board game. I thought it was a little bit annoying, this whole setup from black. If I just entrench without playing for e5, if I play knight f6 and wait for c4 later, because I think c4 will give me something. In fact, can I not just play for a minority attack with a... Oh, so knight e4. Okay, can I try and pretend I've got a minority attack with b4? Or is it easily beaten off with c4? b4 is not really going to do anything, is it? Maybe king f8 here, just to hold e7 in some of the lines. Or has he got knight d6? Have I just run into knight d6? Alright, so bishop f6. Running into knight d6 all the time. Right, he's taking that up. There's knight takes here to hold e8. Upside. Don't lose that much material. Bishop c6 for a moment. Now knight d5 here with tempo. There's knight f4, hold on. change back. It can't be that bad, right? It's not pre-move. I'll get my arrow wrong. B4 is still that lurking minority attack. Is, I don't know, unless I'm weakening light squares too much. Otherwise, this is always biting. D4 granite. Queen E1 for bishop B5. That looks like a nasty pin for bishop B5. Queen E1, Queen B8. It's check, unfortunately. Do I want to weaken the structure here or just play bishop F8? Bishop F8 looks dangerous for bishop D6. So Queen E6 for bishop D6. Alright, just, or Queen D8 for bishop D6. I'll go with that diagonal for the moment. He doesn't really want the queens off, does he? Well, there's Queen E4 if Queen D2. If F3... Well, in fact, there's also Queen B1 there. That is crushing, potentially. So, Queen E4 provokes some weaknesses with like F3. Right, maybe B3 for Queen C2. Is B3 worth it for Queen C2? Maybe. Or has he got stuff going on? Or Queen F4 would have forced the queens off because of the Queen H2 mate threat. Yeah, I could have forced Bishop C1 is winning that pawn. And there's Bishop C4, Bishop A4. If I can win B2, and that pawn's queening. So Queen F4 to get the queens off. Bishop A4 to hold the pawn. Bishop C1 to win this one. So Queen G5, Queen F4, check. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think that looks better for white there. That's dangerous. Okay. Crucial. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. Busy challenge today. Real Felios. Okay. So Bishop G7, Knight F6. Okay, it's another London system, is it? With E3 and C. Oh my god. No, it's with Knight C3. I'm being spared here. It's with Knight C3. This is much more entertaining. Okay. So there's no Bishop D3 here, right? So Bishop takes and then Knight D4, or getting tempo first and then Knight D4 coming up. In fact, this looks rather strange thing to happen. Uh-huh. Am I misjudging this attack over here? I might be. Okay, he's blocked up that rook. Okay, so knight f3 doubles the pawns. Maybe I should just go for that. It does seem like something structurally entertaining. So knight c5 to e6, maybe. Or f6 g5. Knight c5 threatens knight d3. Yeah, I'll still play for knight d3. Okay, can I go like this? Maybe f6 and then rook d8. Try and control that d file. So f6 and then rook d8. He's always got takes and then check and can win b7. This diagonal is a bit vulnerable. Would he want to do that? Maybe he does. Alright. Try and weaken the structure a bit more. I mean, I don't know if I'm actually getting anywhere, actually. Am I actually getting anywhere? Is this an illusion? Alright. So bishop f6. Alright. I could end up losing the a pawn here now. Okay. Maybe it's a good pawn sack or something. Or not. Maybe not. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. With rook b8, rook b2. Or not. Probably not, actually. Like b4 and then f4 and then knight d4. Mind you, he's got, yeah, I thought he might have had bishop c5 actually. Alright, this gives me something to do. I think knight g5 for e4. Or rook d8 and then f3. e4. King c2. He's got king c2. Oh no. Okay, this is getting crazy. Out of control. E3 for F3 for E3 maybe, for F2. So E3 here and then F2. Is that any good? Trying to make use of my one asset, that potential dangerous pass pawn. No, I think takes and then E2. If King D2, there's check. If King E1, there's Rook D1, mating. In fact, maybe instead of E2, there's just taking now. I don't know how he stops that queen because there's no King E2. Alright, don't see that. Oh, there's Rook C6 check. Oh. Okay. Okay. I can take here. There's a check. Oh, there's Rook E1 coming up, maybe. Oh, check and then, yeah, maybe check first. Alright. Yeah, I lost the plot completely, really. I didn't know what was going on. I just lost the plot totally. Okay, anyway, thanks. Okay. Cobra. King H7 and then F5. So if I take and then G5, or has he got knight H5? Does it matter about knight H5 if I'm playing G5 and F4? So F4 coming up looks good. Knight G6 for G4. Oh, knight E5 looks like it's winning the exchange. Well, whatever knight. Knight E5. Or G4 here? Isn't G4? Oh, there's Rook D3. And there's Bishop A6 winning the exchange. So it looks as though my king, you'd think it might be a bit fragile with these pawn moves, maybe. But f3 here, and then queen f6 after. Or has he got e5, something like e5? I've got knight, okay, and there's knight f4, winning the queen. Alright, thanks, Cobra. Okay, yeah, I hope you enjoyed today. As much as me. Thanks, I got really lucky today. I was really lucky. So remember the discount code screen, yeah, premium 15% off. Get to play Magnus Carlsen. Check that out. chess24.com/premium. Kingscrusher. The voucher code is really cool to use. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and see you next week. Okay, thanks very much.